In this video, I'm going to break down the biggest mistake beginner developers make when trying to find quality townhouse builders. I'm then going to share with you 3 tips that will help you land the right townhouse builder for the right price for your next project. What's up guys, Peter Kelly here from Little Fish Property Developments, helping you maximize the value of your land and generate wealth through low risk townhouse projects. On this channel, we share everything you need to deliver successful projects time and time again. So if that's something you're interested in, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notification so you don't miss anything. All right, let's get into it. First up, let me start with a hot tip. The key to finding the right builder for your development project isn't finding the cheapest builder. This is by far the biggest mistake first-time developers make when looking for builders. To be fair, they could be forgiven for thinking the cheaper they get the builder, the more profit they're gonna make. But I can tell you from years of experience, this can be a trap, and it's definitely not the mindset you want to go into a tender process with. Your mindset straight out of the gate should be to determine your build's market value, then work hard to find the best builder at that level. Tip 1, before you even consider going out to tender, you need to get your construction documentation bulletproof. By construction documentation, we are talking about everything the builder will need to accurately quote your project without the need to make any assumptions. Having your documentation in order is going to be the first critical step to nailing down your right townhouse builder for your project. It's important when you put your project out to tender, your documentation is tight and it leaves no reason for the builder to make any assumptions, period. Because trust me, when I say assumptions are no good, they are no good. The only person assumptions benefit is the builder. You need to make sure when you tender out to your builders that they are pricing apples against apples. And the only way you achieve this is through bulletproof documentation. If you get this wrong and your docs are littered with holes, it becomes a reoccurring nightmare that will follow you through the rest of the project. Too many first-time property developers are in a hurry to lock in a builder and get the project started. I'm not saying there is anything wrong with being on a mission to lock down your builder and get the project going, but what I'm saying is the additional time you put into the front end to get your documentation watertight is guaranteed to save you countless headaches, time and money throughout the project. Don't outsmart yourself and think if the builder misses something in their tender process that you won't have to pay, because you will, and in most cases significantly more than what you would have if it had have been worked into the contract price from the outset. So take your time, get your documentation bulletproof from the beginning, and avoid costly variations, time delays, and never-ending headaches. Tip number 2, customize your liquidated damages in the build contract. Liquidated damages are a non-negotiable for all build contracts here at Little Fish, no matter how big or small the project, or even how well we know the builder. It's one thing for a builder to tell you they can get the project completed in a specific amount of time, but it's another thing for that builder to back it up on a contract. It doesn't matter who the builder is or how well you know them, if they aren't prepared to back it up on a contract, it holds zero weight. Your aim is to get your builder to commit to a time frame that they are comfortable with. This is where the liquidated damages clause of the contract comes into play. Significant but fair liquidated damages are the only mechanism at your disposal that will hold your builder accountable to the time they commit to. For us here at Little Fish, if we have townhouse builders that aren't prepared to back up their time commitment in a contract, they instantly aren't our builder. It doesn't matter how good they are or how well we know them or how many projects they've completed for us in the past. It's standard practice for us and should become standard practice for you on every project you do moving forward. It's important that you don't screw your builder down on a time which will set them up to fail. All you are looking for is a commitment to the time frame both you and your builder are comfortable to commit to. In the liquidated damages clause of most contracts, it will have a default amount to be paid, which is usually pretty insignificant. This amount can and should be changed to an amount that reflects how much it will cost you if the project runs over time. The higher the amount set in the contract, the more incentive your builder will have to make sure he completes the project in the time frame agreed to. Now, there are plenty of ways you can work this out, but as long as both parties agree and are happy, that's the main thing. So your documentation is bulletproof, your townhouse builders have committed to a time frame, and you have all the pricing in. It's time to make a decision. But before you do, there's one important thing you need to consider first, which is tip number 3, time versus money. What that amount is will be specific to your development finance setup and your specific project. You need to work out what that equals per month for your project and then add or deduct that amount accordingly from the various contracts you have to understand the true price for each individual contract. For example, Builder A's under a build contract of 9 months and Builder B's committing to 12-month build contract. Now, Builder A is doing the project for $550,000 and Builder B is doing the project for $540,000. The true contract price of these two builders is Builder A's at $550 and Builder B's at $555. So for me, Builder A is the cheaper builder even though he's more expensive on contract due to the time. Also remember, it's always nice to see your money earlier so you can move on with your next project. It may seem obvious, but in the heat of battle and under pressure, you'd be amazed how many inexperienced developers only look at the price of the contract and don't factor in the time and its subsequent costs. Okay, now you have no excuses. By taking on board the 3 tips we've just gone through, you should have a clear understanding of the true value of each contract. So the final piece of the puzzle to help you make your decision on which townhouse builder to select is going to come down to things such as builder's work history, their experience, business structure, and how they've carried themselves throughout the tender process, just to name a few. In all honesty, there are countless factors you need to be aware of and looking out for when selecting townhouse builders in Melbourne, all of which will come with experience. At the very least, by having your quantifiable data in order, you'll give yourself the best chance to land your perfect townhouse builder at the right level. Hopefully you've enjoyed the content as much as I've enjoyed making it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and leave any questions in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them. As always, thanks for watching and until next time, happy developing.